Hello, Leo. Thank you very much for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, I'm using Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Already shuffled. We're going to do relationship first, single second. Oracle cards come out where needed. We're going to have to see how that card adds in. There could be a really good card here. I'm just... I almost feel like you're off on your own for a moment here. I'm getting this feeling like you're feeling separated. You've got a lot going on in your life. You got the Three of Cups on your side. Like you're enjoying things in your life. Things are good in your life, but whatever you're doing, I feel like it's away from your partner. And one or the other of you, just either you or them, you're doing things that you can't be with each other. You just can't be around each other as much as you'd like to be. Now, your partner I'm seeing with the King of Pentacles, but their challenge card, that's not the King of Pentacles, that's the Knight of Pentacles. Their challenge card is the Ten of Pentacles, which is telling me they're just expecting this to work out. Like, you know, things ebb and flow. It's not really the most ideal at this moment, but they're feeling like if they just hold on, this will pass, another phase will come around, you'll be together again. Just sometimes you just can't hang out as much as you'd like to. But the Ten of Pentacles as their challenge card is telling me taking that for granted might be a problem. Just expecting things to work out because they feel like they would probably do better to keep more in touch with you either by texting or calling or leaving notes. Like if it's one of those things where one of you works a different shift, leaving notes or little pictures for each other, like, you know, I've been thinking of you and things like that. That would make things better. I'm seeing your challenge card as the Lovers, I'm noticing, and it's kind of like you're missing your partner. You want to be around your partner. You want to see them. You want to hang out with them. This is your challenge card to pull that love back in here. Now, it's almost like when I feel your side, you got the Fool card with the self-reflection. Almost like you realize they're busy and you don't want to really bother them while they're busy doing whatever they're doing. It's almost like you don't want to bother them. Or if you do, there could be some repercussions. Like they're going to be like, well, I'm in the middle of this or I'm in the middle of that. And if you send out information or you send some questions their way or try to touch base with them, it could end up snapping back in your face. And you're like, well, I don't want that. I want to be closer. I don't want to aggravate my partner. I want to be closer to my partner. And aggravating them is not going to get the outcome I want. With your partner, I get another Pentacle card, which has nothing to do with Pentacles in general, because I love Pentacles. I do. But in this situation, it's not feeling good to me. Your partner has the Queen of Pentacles, which don't get caught up in the gender, but I'm just feeling like they're really it's almost like they're goal-driven, like tunnel vision, if you will. This is how long this is going to take. This is what I need to do right now. So I can't, I don't like saying this, but it's almost like I can't bother or be bothered by my partner. They will be fine. It'll come back around when the time is right. And they're very animate about this. With the Four of Swords is what I'm getting. I don't like that energy. It just feels like they're very tunnel vision. Like for right now, I've got this. I'm dealing with this right in front of me. They'll be fine. I'll get back to them when I can. Right now, I got to do this. This is what I'm focusing on. They'll be there. When I'm ready, they'll be there. I don't like that energy. It doesn't feel right to me. And I'm questioning, is it like, are we on? And like, no, that's how it is. I feel like they're taking it for granted a little bit. And they're just assuming it's going to work out in the long run. I don't like it. Now, you do have the Strength card on your side, which Leos are strong. Leos, I mean, it's very rare you don't find one that's strong. Let's put it that way. It's very rare. Of course, there's other things in the chart. I know that. But the stereotypical Leo is quite strong. Let's just go there. And you got the Three of Cups with the strength here. Like, you're finding ways to amuse yourself. You're doing what you need to do while your partner can't have time for you and doesn't seem to have time for you. That's what I'm feeling. Like, they don't have time for you in this certain aspect, whatever this aspect is. And it could just be a level of intimacy. Like, you want to be physically intimate with them, and they're like, I don't want to do that. I can't do that. And they keep putting you off, and it goes into months. And you're just kind of like, I've got to find something to do for myself here. I don't know where that's going, but take it for, you know where that's going. So take it with a grain of salt. You know where that's going. See, I'm getting this weird feeling here with your side. Like, you're going to... The shock is coming up with the Tower card and the Void. It's kind of like, will you go another direction? This is a general read. But for those of you this is hitting with, and you're going to know if this is going to happen or not. So don't worry about it. If this doesn't make sense to you or you don't believe this, cool. Then it's not for you. But there's a chance here of looking elsewhere for love. And I'm seeing like the Chariot come in here on your side. The Tower coming in the Void. Like I feel like somebody's giving you attention. Somebody's trying to show you attention. That's what it feels like. It doesn't, just because they're showing you attention doesn't mean you're going to do anything with it. That's your ball, your court. You do what you have to do. But this is making you really think about, like, what am I involved in? What is the relationship I'm involved in? And what other possibilities do I have? And if I want something else, what do I need to do to make that happen? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying you seem to be faced with that information. Like, you know what? If my partner doesn't seem to want to be around me, maybe somebody else does. Then what you do with that is your business. Doesn't mean you're going to cross any lines. Doesn't mean you're going to do anything wrong. It just means that when somebody else shows you this attention, it is really showing you possibilities like, well, how often does this happen with my partner? You know, if they don't really want to hang out with me, who does want to hang out with me? It's just rolling around in your brain. That's all it's doing. I'm actually seeing you spending less time with your partner through choice in the future and off doing other things. I'm also noticing when your partner's ready to come back around and spend time with you, you're too busy for them. They have the Five of Cups kind of like, now they're wondering like, wait a minute, I thought this would just be here when I was ready, and now it's not. My partner, the Leo, is not around when I'm ready for them. What is going on? They seem to be very nervous, like there's a big problem here, like, uh-oh, am I losing my Leo? That seems to be the energy there. Now, the last piece of this is for your partner. What makes things better for them is the Nine of Cups and the Peace. Now, for them to find peace, I feel what they need to do is they have to start planning things with you. And I don't know how this is going to work because Leo is probably watching this. I don't know how this is going to work out with them getting this information. But I feel like they very much love you, and they're coming to that realization. Maybe this is maybe it's not about what they're doing, and maybe it's about what they're realizing. Because I'm not saying you're going to cross any lines or ruin anything or walk away from this relationship. But when you start spending time other places, and when they expect you to be there, you're not around, and they're disappointed and missing you, I feel like that's when it's coming together, where they're realizing, you know what, I do want this relationship. You know what, I do love this Leo. I don't want them going somewhere else. I want them staying with me, and I really like the life we have together. They have to come to peace with, like, you know what, they're going to have to change how they treat you. They're going to have to change about their connection with you to make sure that even though they're busy at certain times, and maybe they're very heavily busy in certain things, they can still afford to text you once in a while, send you a message, send you maybe a picture on a lunch break, or, you know, at the end of the night, or whatever they're doing. They can find a way to move in to an area to where they can spend a little bit more time with you and give you a little bit more attention so that you're both happy. And I feel like that might be the whole point of this. When you actually are off doing other things, and it doesn't mean you're crossing any lines again, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong, but you're off doing other things and they're missing you, that might be the highlight they need to realize, you know what, I want to keep the Leo, and maybe I need to spend more time with them or pay more attention to them if I intend to keep them. It may work out very well. It may. Take it with a grain of salt, but that seems to be where this is going. That's literally all I'm getting for this. So that's kind of where that's ending. All right. hopefully that helps. Let's do messages for single Leos and see what we have. Single Leos. What do we have for single Leos? What messages do we have for single Leos? What messages do we have for single Leos? Okay. Let's shuffle these a little bit, see what we get from these. Single Leos. There's a little stress here. There's a bit of stress, actually. I shouldn't say there's a little. Feels like there's some stress here. Something is about to fail. I feel like you have your eye on somebody. You got the Nine of Swords, which is stress as it is. Sleepless nights sometimes, blah, 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 all that stuff. Stress, let's just nutshell it into stress. There's stress. And you're heading towards the Three of Swords, but it's also like separated from the Justice card. It's almost like, I almost feel like there's somebody you're not completely over, even though you may feel like you are. There's almost a little bit of a jealousy feel here, like somebody who did you wrong seems to have moved on and found someone else. And I just feel like this energy is just making you feel weird. Just kind of like, how can that train wreck find somebody in 5 seconds? And I'm out here looking and I can't find anybody. It's a weird energy, but I'm also getting like the resistance with the World card in the past. It's almost like, I almost feel like you might have moved on from something a little too quickly. And there's just some residual emotions left over that just have to be aired out and just let go. Ironically, for those of you this is hitting with and you have this moment and you're a little bit aggravated, whether you want to be or not, with your last partner or somebody you left, finding somebody else and moving on, the fact that you're feeling that may be the last piece that lets that finally go. It may be the last moment you need to feel, just kind of like your closure moment. It may let things go, and it may free you from this whole energy. Because you're definitely somebody who's looking for love, and you're actively out there looking for it with the Three of Wands. Like, you're like, yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm looking for it. I'm trying to find what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find a good match. Ironically, if you're one of the people that happens to, like you see your last love, last connection, you see them out with somebody else and you're realizing they've found another relationship and that annoys you, that's a good sign, because that's, for this reading, that's a good sign, because it's saying that energy is now finished and let go. It doesn't seem like it has any hold on you after that moment. So if you have a moment where it aggravates you, I'm just getting that's a sign that that's closing that door in your future. It's like this. It's like opening a fresh window. I hope this is coming across correctly, because I feel like it's a very, very good thing. Because it's like that's the last bit of closure you needed from that. And it's just kind of like you're letting it go. For a lot of you, I feel like you didn't realize you're holding on to a little bit of energy still there. And that's just going to be like, that's going to be the last, and it's gone. Now, what you have coming up next is growth and karma. Because I feel like this person, and seeing them with someone else and it aggravating you just a little, which is subjective to how much just a little is, it seems to be highlighting in your mind, like, I'm not going to do that again. Not so much like I'm not looking for who's looking for a failed relationship? Like, oh, we can't wait to find another one to fail at. Nobody's looking for that, as far as I know. But it's kind of like, it's highlighting this person's personality, what initially attracted you to them, why you were with them for as long as you were with them. And I feel like these traits and these situations that you got involved with that last person are very vividly alive in your memory. So that way, when karma and growth are coming forward in this next section, it's not even for just the last one. I feel like it's highlighting in your brain, like when somebody's approaching you or you have interest in somebody, if they match another person from your past, like, oh, this person seems like they're a little bit argumentative, but they have a lot to say, but they kind of get my interest and I like them and maybe we could work it out. And then all of a sudden it clicks. Yeah, I remember I dated so-and-so, and when I first met them, that's how they were like. I don't need that again. And vice versa, you might find other people like, oh, here's another one. I'm finding this person. They seem a little clingy, but I feel like that can be fine over time. Maybe it's not a big deal. Wait a minute. I also dated this other person, and they were like that in the beginning, and it got to the point where I felt suffocated. I couldn't stand it, and I had to get out of that one. It's kind of like your mind is like so alive with vivid memories of like, wait a minute, this one looks good, but that reminds me of that. I don't need that again. I'm going to have to pass on this. Oh, this one's... Oh, no, that reminds me of that. Already done that. Moving on from that. Not in a bitter way, just kind of like, yeah, I've already did that. That obviously doesn't work for me. I'm going to go in a different direction. The Ace of Swords is where you're heading for in the end here, which is telling me you've got a lot more strength. You're actually... It's almost like a precision feel here. Like, I know what I want. Well, I know what I don't want. That's probably a better way to put this. You've got it very tightly aligned. Like, you know what? I do want somebody who communicates. I don't want somebody who's looking to start arguments. I do want somebody who's active. I don't want somebody that is so active, though, that it becomes a competition to who could take the lead, though. So I don't want that. Typically, Leos are leaders. So I'm just saying. So you're probably like, yeah, I do want somebody who has initiative and wants to go forward, but I don't want to be in competition with them to who gets to lead the way here. So you're knowing what you're looking for, but more importantly, you know what you're not looking for. You know it's not going to fit. Now, is this upside down? You got Temperance upside down coming in. And in the environment, which shows up later, is the Five of Wands. I like this, actually. Because I'm stereotypical Leo, you know, everybody's different, even though you can hold your ground. Somebody getting upset with you, you can handle that. You know what I mean? You're not afraid of it. So you're upset, be upset. You know, all right, I can handle it, whatever. You don't have any patience for people who are argumentative. And I feel like that's the first thing that you're walking away from. Like, that's the first thing that you're going to say, this will not work. People who are argumentative or seem to be connected with a lot of controversy or a lot of combat type feel, combat, it doesn't have to be physical combat, but it can be like verbal combat, whatever they're dealing with. I feel like those are the first people you're like, that goes in the no pile. And I'm feeling like that's a very smart thing for you to do. You're not opposed to, you could stand your ground. That's not the thing. But it's the thing, but like, what you're looking for is moving forward in a life connection, a partner connection. You're not looking for somebody to fight with or somebody who's constantly dealing with controversy. So I feel like that's the first thing you have no patience for. I feel like that's really, really good. And I feel like this, especially with the Temperance, it was face down, and it's coming out upside down. They're like, make sure that that's one of those biggest things that you don't have patience for. If somebody is argumentative or connected with a lot of controversy, that immediately goes into the no pile. The rest of it will work itself out fine. But that's the first thing. That's like the most important thing. If somebody's very argumentative or hard to get along with, or it's constantly, you have to constantly fight with them, or they're constantly fighting with other people, that still counts. No, walk away from it. Because if you walk away from that, you will find a good match for you. But that's the first thing you want to walk away from. And I feel like that's the whole point of this reading, is kind of like learning from the past, learning from what you put up with in the past, thinking it would be okay. And it's not that you can't weather it, it's just that after a while, it's not that you can't weather it, it's that you don't want to. So instead of getting all the way down the road and realize, you know, even though I could keep doing this, I don't want to, cutting it off right at the quick there. Just kind of like, nope, it's already a problem, it's already an issue, not even going to go down that road. I feel like that's the whole point. Someone actually showing up, they're not telling me if that's going to happen. I feel like this is all about you realigning your standards from like, I can handle that, from that, but evolving it into, I'm not going to put up with that. I can deal with that, I just refuse to. And seeing it more clearly, because I feel like some of you are fairly good at that, but it might be getting a little bit more stricter with that line. This person is beautiful, I like them, there's a lot of dynamic with them, and I feel like sometimes people get a free pass because you're like, I'm feeling it for them, and not everybody's perfect. They had some issues here, but everybody does. And I feel like going forward, it's kind of like, you know what? Not everybody has issues like that, though. Not everybody has issues where they're argumentative. Not everybody has issues where they have controversy around them constantly. Yes, everybody has some type of issue, true, but that's one I'm not looking to deal with. Good. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.